Good afternoon here. I'm Joe Barbeau. Our guest this afternoon is Jack Baker, former president, and we're going to get into how that happened, of the Student Association at the University of Minnesota. Jack, I understand you're presently a candidate for the Minneapolis City Council.
Very definitely, Joe. We're a candidate in the 2nd Ward.
Okay, we're back live now with Radio and the People. Our guest is Jack Baker. We've got a couple lines open. No, we don't.
Let me respond to the last guest.
Very good.
Okay, well, thanks for your call. Bye-bye. All right, I'm sorry for taking off on that one. Our phone number again is 546-5478. Why don't you give us a call? Go ahead, you're on the air.
Yes, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I called you last week,
Yeah?
and I wrote a letter to the station manager, but you're still on.
You're the one that wrote that letter.
Yes, and you're still on the air. And
Well, I'll tell you, some other people wrote letters and disagreed with you.
well, in a democracy, I feel you should be off.
Well, I'm... wait a minute. Yeah, look, I like
In
the...
democracy, the majority votes, not just one person dictates.
Yeah, also we have a thing called free speech. Now, I disagree with Paul Helm, but I've not once yet said, let's get him off the air. I think it's kind of fun to listen to him, to be honest with
You
you.
haven't.
See, there's no law against
How about you replacing him?
What?
I heard you were replacing him. That's not getting him off the air?
Now, that rumor has no basis in fact, to my knowledge, or anyone's knowledge at this station.
Well, I hope not. Now about Jack. Yes, how did you get the way you are?
As president, we had an election, and the students voted me president of the Minnesota Student Association. It's called democracy.
Really? They voted for you?
Yes, why certainly.
In
They
fact, it
voted
was one of the highest turnouts on record.
Well, it was the highest highest voter turnout in the history of the university, and it was even higher the next year when I was reelected. So they voted for me, and they voted for the programs that we offered the students. We have given them a chance to control the daily lives of their...
Sure.
Well,
you don't believe in democracy, I take it.
Well, not for him.
You believe in selective democracy, is that it?
democracy for some people and not for others.
A person like him as president? Oh, my.
In other words, if someone agrees with you, he can do anything he wants. If they disagree with you, they have no rights. Is that it?
Just putting words in my
No,
mouth.
I'm asking you a question. You said he doesn't deserve democracy. Now, that doesn't make much sense.
That's right, he doesn't.
How did you arrive at that conclusion?
Well, I've heard you before and what you advocate, and you don't deserve it.
Well, would that also hold true for those that hold views that I don't like? I mean, I have never heard you on radio, so I don't know whether what you advocate or not, but let's assume I don't like what you advocate. Well, then I have the right to say that you don't have the right to benefit from a democracy?
Well, you don't even...
Well, then answer my question. Would you agree that I have the right then to say that you don't deserve the benefits of democracy?
No, you don't.
Oh,
Okay, now wait a minute. Can you answer a question of mine? You have talked with me before, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay, now we disagree, right?
Yes.
Okay, you don't believe that I have the right to democracy. You don't believe I should be on the air. Now, I happen to be sitting in the driver's seat on this one. I can bump you off anytime I please.
What?
Now, have I cut you off once?
Yes, you have.
Oh, I have not cut off a caller after giving him a fair amount of time.
You like listening to your pals, and you cut me off. Anybody who disagrees with you.
Oh,
well...
Have I cut you off yet? You just said dump me off the air. You send letters to dump me off. Have I cut you off yet?
Well, you're gonna. I know you. Whenever I disagree with you, you'll cut people off all the time.
I tell you, you're tempting me right now, but I'm...
Anyway,
Everybody says that to the FCC.
Has any rights at all.
What?
Doesn't under the Constitution of the country.
Who doesn't have any rights under the Constitution?
Him.
Oh, well, I don't know what law school you went to, but
What do you mean? She rewrote it, Jack.
Oh, I've been to one for 4 years, and I've never heard that one. See, the nice thing about the Constitution is it protects people who have different views from bigots like you, who are incapable of tolerating the views of other people. And that's the nice thing about the democracy in this country. And that's the reason I love this country. That's the reason that I enjoy staying in this country. And that's the reason I will die in this country, because it is so beautiful. It protects the minority from being intimidated from those who are incapable of allowing the minority to express their views.
Well, I'm sick.
Okay, tune your dial then.
on this there.
Hey, I'll tell you what. You put your hand on your knob and you turn to the left or to the right, okay?
Now, you can just...
Okay. All right. Well, we're due for a break, and we're going to go ahead and take one. Our phone number again is 546-5478. Why don't you give us a call? We'll be right back.
The American Opinion Bookstore. The People.
Okay. We're back live with Radio and the People. I did cut off that last caller. She had 5 minutes to tell Jack and I how she didn't believe we had her, that in a democracy we didn't deserve democratic rights. She had her spiel, you know, she can send her letters, and she's done it already, and I hope she sends some more because they really are a lot of fun to read. At any rate, we do believe in democracy, and that's why if any caller wants to raise an issue, we let them raise the issue. We do have to have a time limit, however, of some sort. We have to, it's very flexible, but we do have to, you know, cut off some calls at one point because we want to get in as many opportunities for people to express their opinion on the air. So if you've got an opinion, why don't you give us a call? Our guest is Jack Baker this afternoon. He'll be with us as long as you want him to stay, as long as you've got questions for him. Our phone number is 546-5478. Okay, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, that lady really was funny, wasn't she? She was so weird. I tell you what, anyway, I'd like to talk to Jack Baker.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to know why gay people, they get so upset when, about, you know, like, when they get called, you know, certain terms and stuff, you know, and about, like, jokes about them and stuff, you know. It really seems kind of stupid to me, you know, to get really upset about something like that when really everyone gets called names, and I laugh at those jokes, and sometimes, you know, I feel kind of guilty. I don't know if I should or not, but...
Well, the reason they get upset, or we get upset, is simply that the jokes are, the words are intended to be derogatory and intended to be put downs. At least that's why they're invented. Now they may be used innocently, but they do have some derogatory overtones.
But, you know, like...
Incidentally, I'm quite very sensitive to the word homosexual and to the word, to the word sexual preference, incidentally. I think those two words are perpetuating stereotypes. There's a lot of people that assume that being gay means nothing but just having sex with persons of the same sex. And they don't realize that being gay is really the converse of heterosexuality. It's an emotional attraction to persons of the same sex. It's a deep emotional interpersonal involvement which may or may not have anything to do with sex. There's a couple of reasons why it's not a very good word, at least from my standpoint, and that is that the assumptions behind the word are that the psychiatrists assumed that all people were either heterosexual or homosexual. They assumed they assume that if you had orgasm with a person of the same sex, they zeroed in on the sexual act, that was homosexual, and if you had orgasm with a person of the opposite sex, that was heterosexual. Now, none of those things are true. As I say, they totally, as psychiatrists are, they totally ignored the interpersonal involvement and the emotional attachments about forming responsible relationships. Too many people use other people as masturbation machines and look upon them for political purposes and how they can maneuver and manipulate people. And a lot of the younger generation and a lot of people just don't understand how...
In all parties.
All right. Then also you said a person from any other field could be president of the students.
That's true. I think so.
So you're thinking again.
Well, that's my opinion. I'm entitled to think. There's nothing against the thinking in this democracy.
Well, you should be sure of your words instead of thinking.
Well, the problem is that the court hasn't come down with its decision yet.
People are with the second ward.
Well, I don't think so. Most of them are in the 7th ward.
Well, I think you'd be surprised to know the number of doctors and lawyers and clergymen and businessmen that you deal with every day that are gay, but they grew up in a period of time when being gay was looked down upon, and they... What?
So I'm not saying who's gay and who isn't. I'm trying to say, if you two will let me, that he was elected mostly by the gay people.
No, that's you can't back that up.
Yes, I can, because there was a certain amount of people at the university and a certain amount of people, of gay people that belonged to the gay organization.
How many were there? How many?
I don't know how many.
Then how can you say that...
I have my paper in front of me, but I did read it. of Minnesota. What good?
I'm not breaking the laws. I haven't broken the law of Minnesota yet.
Haven't you?
No.
How did you get your marriage license to marry your lover?
By applying and paying $10 like everybody else.
But you misrepresented his name or whichever was the supposedly woman.
No, no one was supposedly the woman, and nobody misrepresented anybody. We put our legal names down and paid $10 and swore to the accuracy of the document, and the document was issued.
Knowing that the two were men, I don't believe that.
There's no requirement that two people
Because you
apply.
didn't want him to see your lover.
Well, he didn't break a law is the point he was trying to answer, because that was your question.
That's breaking the law.
Oh, I see.
You want to ask your father,
Okay.
Joe.
Okay. Is your father an attorney, Joe?
No, he's a judge.
Oh.
And if you don't know that, Jack Baker, you're far beyond removed from being an alderman.
Well.
And another thing I'd like to say.
Okay, well, make it short. You've been there quite a while.
Not 5 minutes.
Just make it short.
Minister, without having your marriage blessed. And that dingling minister.
I think you just answered your question. The marriage was blessed. Standpoint is a highly illegal question from the Catholic Church's standpoint and could result in excommunication.
Well, if you can lie before God, God bless us, you would lie before anything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, thanks for your call. Bye-bye. Our phone number again is 546. Yeah, it's interesting, Jack, how so many people can put themselves into roles. All of a sudden, you know, he's a preacher, now he's God, now he's, chief cook and bottle washer of who has a right to be elected and who has a right to...
Yeah, I was amazed at the woman that before that could make the dogmatic statement of you can be protected by the Constitution and you can't. And that reminds me of the Army general that called the Morrill Hall, the president's office, when I was first elected, and wanted to know why the university hadn't rigged the election to make sure that I didn't get elected.
Having fun this afternoon.
Well, things are pretty interesting, I'll admit that.
The real reason.
Yeah, well, he said that the reason was they felt so insecure was because their so-called boyfriends or girlfriends, I don't know what
Lovers.
you call them, what?
Lovers.
Lover. They were so unreliable. In other words, they were flitting from one to another. And
Well, you can find that among heterosexuals, I believe, too.
well,
That's not really true. Let me give you some statistics.
Part of our life, that
Right.
is no longer.
Okay. Well, we'd like to get to another call. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks for your call. Bye-bye. All righty, we're going to have to take a break in a few minutes, but we'll get to this call. Our phone number again is 546-5478. Go ahead, you're on the air.
yes, Joe,
Yes.
wondering, since you have this guest on, are you also an admitted homosexual?
You know, this is kind of interesting, because I was wondering if this was going to come up. All right, for the record, because I'm sure someone was going to ask it, I'm not a homosexual. I'll have to use that word, Jack, because that's the word he asked me. But I am heterosexual. For those that don't know that, I could say that I prefer girls, whatever way you want to put it. But I want to ask you a question. Why does the fact that a man is on who is gay suggest to you that I am?
I was just wondering.
Okay.
You're not married, are you?
No, I'm not. Not presently, and I have no plans at the present time to get married either.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
I think 17 is a little young to get married, to be honest with you.
Well, you're just not. Are you just afraid to admit it?
To admit...
Afraid to admit that he's not married? That's
No.
nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Well, you're married, though, aren't you?
Right, I'm married, though. If
Yeah.
I weren't, I wouldn't be afraid to admit it.
Well,
Have you got any other questions?
I was just wondering if you would admit it,
If I would admit what?
that you're a homosexual.
You can talk all you want. I just given you an answer to your question. If you don't care to believe it, I don't care what you do. I told you the truth.
The answer is if he were, he would admit it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You got any other questions?
No.
I didn't think you did. You didn't sound like
Yeah,
you had much there. All right. Okay, well, we're going to have to take a break. There's a caller on line. I hope he hangs on. Our number... I'm sure eventually it'll happen. Okay, well, we're going to get to another call. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Say, that man that called, not this last one, but the one before.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he one of your closet queens?
Oh, I wouldn't have any idea about that. I don't ask people about their personal lives.
Yeah, that's all she had to make. She wanted to throw a little dig in there. So.
I think, to me, that shows the immaturity of people that would ask such silly questions.
Well, you know, if you've listened to talk radio before...
No, I agree. I'm not saying it. That the nice thing about our Constitution is that there's no law against being fool or doing foolish things. And
Things on my mind, but that goofy woman hung up. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say. A lot of these people, I can't say for all because I don't know for sure, but that have been calling up. I've been listening to them pretty carefully. And I cannot call them any dumb names or anything because...
because I'll hit the button.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
Okay.
No, all I can say is I and you and everybody else can pray for them that if they remember pretty good, and I can't quote this because I don't have the Bible in front of me and I can't remember. I mean, I'll bet you and I could become good friends.
I bet we could too.
Just plain we talked to...
Radio and the People. Our guest is Jack Baker. Everyone seems pretty interested in asking some questions, so I want to thank Jack for staying on this long with us, and as long as you have questions, you'll be here to answer them, right?
That's true. I'll be here.
Okay. Go ahead. You're on the air.
How come they allow a dirty thing like him on the air and on a Saturday when children are listening?
Now, wait a minute.
There are complaints made to that dirty station, allowing a thing like him.
What about you?
Well,
that's an interesting. I don't want to retaliate, but I don't understand what the fact is that children are listening has anything.
I don't think you're out recruiting troops, are you?
Well,
in the sense of changing people's attitudes.
Oh, I am recruiting troops, right? That are trying to change people's attitudes. It seems to me we have an unresponsive government on our hands.
Well, what I was getting at is that you're not on here trying to convince people that they should become gay because it's better or anything like that, which is what she's afraid of, with her concern about children, that type of thing.
Well, I don't know. People like that just amaze me. They're always, all the bigotry in the world is KTCA.
Well, anyway, I didn't hear it, but Paul Helm mentioned it.
Well, Paul Helm is not noted for accuracy, so you have to be careful when he speaks about, particularly those he doesn't like, and you have to be careful about what he says about me. But in terms of, I guess the question was in terms of sodomy, and the question was, did I or did I not engage in that, and the answer was yes. And what was left unanswered was whether or not it was done within the state of Minnesota. So.
You're a would-be lawyer and you like to get a guy in a trap.
I asked you a question about some specifics. Okay, so you don't have any. That's all I asked.
Horses, hold your horses. I mean, I still respect you as a 17-year-old kid, but you're not going to talk up to me and embarrass me to the point.
I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm really asking you a question.
I was talking to Baker anyway. I don't know where you come in on this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just the point. Well, that's right. Well, and what we're trying to say is that 2,700 out of basically 50,000 are voting for you. Are there 2,700 homosexuals over there? Is that what it amounted to?
I wouldn't have any idea. I would think there's something like 4,000 over there.
4,000 homosexuals, Mike?
Right.
Is that bad off, huh?
Well, there's 50,000 in the city of Minneapolis. But whether people like it or not, because that's the way it works.
Well, you may have a good chance because most of the cuckoos are over at the university ward, that number 2 ward. And as far as this Karen's being a Republican, that's a laugh. That is the biggest laugh I've ever heard of. He's a laugh like Goodell as a Republican. So it's two Democrat socialists running against each other.
Well, I don't consider myself a socialist, but I consider myself concerned about the people. I think
becoming, and I'd like to see you actually elected. Then the people
I would too.
will really laugh up the state at what Minnesota really has become. A socialist screwball state complete.
Okay, well, thanks for your opinion, okay?
You're welcome.
All right.
Could I make the comment about that woman that called in about 4 calls back? I think she called herself a teacher, right?
Turn on, tune in, and talk back to KUXL's Radio and the People, 546-5478.
Well, thanks for your opinion, I guess.
I didn't know if she was talking about herself as a caller when she said birds of a feather flock together.
Okay. Well, our phone number again is 5...
I don't know who I'm talking to. Your voices are almost identical with Mr. Barbeau.
Well, you're talking to both of us.
Yeah, at the same time.
Your voices on the phone here are almost identical. It's difficult to distinguish between the two.
Go ahead, you're on the air.
I know you are.
Did you call earlier?
Listen, don't you ever say that to me. I called twice in 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Is that right?
And
I'm one of the callers that you called.
you're a celebrity,
That's
Jack.
because you spoil my evening. You got Jack Baker on.
Well, there's
Don't talk to pigs.
Don't you like the open-minded of men?
Joe, I wish you wouldn't call the announcers those names.
Do you have a question to ask?
No.
That was it.
That's what I figured.
Make a stab in the dark at a well, I guess we've already disconnected.
Yeah, we've lost that one. She's probably listening right now, but does it make any difference with the question? With that type of a
Well, we try to respond to intelligence, and the nice thing about the world is that there are a lot of people that don't deal in the intelligent world, and you have to deal with them at a lower level.
Okay, go ahead. You're on the air.
Sarah?
Hello, you're on the air.
Pardon me?
You're on the air right now.
I'd like to ask Mr. Baker, how in the world he expects the ladies to vote for him when he can't marry one?
Oh, I can marry one.
Well, you've already been married. I don't know how you could.
There's a difference between can marry and actually.
Again?
Certainly.
Well, I mean, how in the world do you expect the ladies to vote for you?
Well, by going into the ballot box and pressing the lever. It's just as simple as
I
that.
don't think we would because you don't recognize us as ladies. So.
Well, we'll find out whether your opinion is valid or not on November the 11th or whenever the election is.
Okie doke, I mean your word, but that's the way I feel.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, another selective voter. Okay. Okay, go ahead. You're on the air. Hello.
Is that me?
Yes, it is.
Well, I was kind of wondering why his friend doesn't ever talk on the air.
I don't know.
Maybe if his friend declared for the council seat, we'd have him on and give him equal time.
Right. We did it once, and he lost a job at the university over it, so that's the reason.
Okay, yeah, nice again. That's the only comment they make. They don't stick around to discuss the issues. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Speaking of lower level, I don't know how they get any lower than you two, that dirty Baker.
Okay, well, now we've got a good response from the...
They must be about 4 or 5 of them in that one house, constantly taking turns.
Okay, well, we're going to have to take a break for the news. We'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes to go with Talk Radio. I think we're going to go with Open Subject. When we come back, we'll be signing off at 6:15. If you've got any questions about any issues, we'll be talking about a lot of different things when we come back. Go ahead and give us a call. Our number is 545. I want to thank Jack Baker for coming with us this afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed it, despite some of the calls that you've gotten. In the interest of public information and democracy, that's what this is all about. And I want to thank you for taking the time to come. You've spent a lot with us, a lot longer than we originally intended, but the listeners wanted to hear, and I hope they've enjoyed it. We have offered equal time to any other candidates who declare for the office, and other than that, we'll be back in about 5 minutes with Open Subject. Thank you for coming.
Thanks a lot, Joe.
Okay.
But you're going to be the next great president of the United States. You are... No, listen.
Okay.
Son.
Go ahead, you're on the air.
Yeah, how come she got to talk 8 minutes?
Do you have a comment?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
You're going to have that guy on again?
What?
That guy, is he going to be on again?
Who, Jack Baker?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I haven't got any of the guest logs right now. That's open yet. I don't know.
Well, he better not be.
Well, that's the, if you got someone you'd like to have on the air, why don't you send me a postcard and tell me?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drop me a line. All right, our phone number again is 546-5478. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Okay.
Hello? Hello? I think he wandered away from his phone. Are you still there?
That beautiful woman that calls, she's your type. Tell her she can give you good compliments.
Okay, go ahead, you're on the air.
Okay.
Oh, I think we've got a younger one on. Hello?
Hi.
Have you got a comment?
Yeah, how are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. How are you today?
Fine.
What you up to?
Nothing.
Okay, well, I hope you have a good day.
Okay.
Bye-bye. I just want to invite you to send your comments to us in postcard or letter form at KUXL, 5730 Duluth Street, Golden Valley, Minnesota, 55422. If you like the show, if you don't like the show, if you want it kept on the air, if you want it dumped off the air, send us a letter and tell us about it. I'd like to hear from you. So until next Saturday, this is Joe Barbeau signing off, and I hope you have a good weekend and a good week.